there, Stevos, and welcome to a brand new series here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial, which is titled Steve's TV Wrap-Up. Now, this is a little bit similar to the movie wrap-up videos that I do on a weekly basis, or I've been doing for the last few weeks now. However, though, it is a little bit different than the movie wrap-up. So with the movie wrap-up, obviously, you know that obviously I review multiple movies that I watch across a week, every week. However, though, regardless whether it's on streaming services or in the cinema. However, though, with TV wrap-up, of course, it's a little bit different. I don't have enough time in the space of a week to go through 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 20 odd TV shows in the space of a week, on top of watching all the movies that I watch during the week as well. However, though, I do have time to at least watch 1, maybe 2 TV shows a week via binge watches on streaming services. And what I am going to do is I'm going to talk about those TV shows that I've binge watched in a TV wrap-up video, which of course will be separate videos. So we're starting off with this very first episode of Steve's TV wrap-up, and obviously they're not going to be numbered episodes, they're just going to be TV wrap-up with the show name next to it. And I'm going to talk as well about some of the other shows that you guys can expect me to review in the coming weeks very, very shortly. But first of all, though, let's talk about the TV show that we are all here to watch, talk about today, and that is the Robbie Williams documentary that recently got released on the 8th of November 2023 over on Netflix in the UK and around the world. So, admittedly, I have done a big review of this TV show over on Letterboxd as well, because Letterboxd do class documentaries as movies. I don't know why, but they just do. But anyway, I have reviewed it over on Letterboxd. I will leave the link in the description box down below if you do want to give me a follow over on Letterboxd. But let's talk about Robbie Williams, though, because I did give this a 5-star rating over on Letterboxd. Now, the reason why I'm giving this documentary movie the rare 5-star treatment here on Letterboxd, the reason behind this is because truly I felt emotional watching this. The tagline of this documentary truly is what it says on the tin. And that is that it's raw, and it's honest, and it's real. I really appreciate this documentary. It's Robbie Williams looking back on his career over the last 3 decades. And he's not just looking back at the highs of his career from when he first joined the boy band Take That and getting used to the fame, but also the lows of his career, which included being involved with drugs in a rather heavy way and heading off to rehab. We see footage of him while he's on drugs and the effects it caused him while under the influence. We see him suffering from panic attacks while performing on stage in Leeds here in the UK. And there's even moments in this documentary that he can't even remember what happened when the cameras were rolling on his back, until it then hits him. He realizes that during that moment the camera was rolling on him, that was the moment that he was under the influence of drugs or alcohol. There was one part of this documentary which completely broke me. It was in the late 2000s, around 2008, 2009, when he admits in the documentary he had no self-control, he had no self-care for himself, that he was under the influence of drugs all the time, that he truly didn't care about himself, in this documentary, he even admits that he was at that point back then when he didn't even care if he had passed away. That nobody would care. That part of the documentary is what truly... that part there was what truly broke me, to be honest, the most. I've grown up listening to Robbie Williams' music all throughout my childhood, from songs like Angels and Feel to Millennium and Rock DJ. I absolutely love his songs so much. He's been at the #1 top spot in my Spotify Wrapped each year for the last few years, because I always listen to his music. If it's not Taylor Swift that I have on repeat, it's Robbie Williams. And back then, in 2009, I was listening to his album, Reality Killed the Video Star, which I really loved back then. And it was an album that I had on repeat. It's not just that neither, but there was a period in my life where I was at college and my mental health was in a really bad way. And the thing that helped me the most, the thing that helped me cope the most with going through a bad mental health episode during my college years, was by listening to Robbie Williams on YouTube while I was doing my college work. I'm not ashamed to say that there's even times where I will spend half an hour or an hour in my room singing out loud to some of his songs that are a favourite of mine as well. This documentary also covers the press that he's had over the years, especially with British newspapers like The Sun always getting involved in what he's up to in his personal and private life, and making up news stories about him as well, and making out he was a really negative guy. There was even a journalist working for The Sun at the time, in the early 2000s, who absolutely hated him and his music, and would always make out that his recently released song was awful, which had a negative impact on his performances when he did tours in the UK. A prime example of this is a song he did in the 2000s titled Rude Box. Now, Rude Box was a risk that he took because the song and the self-titled album either worked or didn't work. Me personally, there are some songs within this album that I do love, and I'll admit that I do love the song Rude Box. I think it's a great song, but that's my personal opinion. Some people will love it, some people will like it, and others will dislike it. However, though, when he did a tour, when this song came out, he did a tour in European countries, and loads of his fans in those European countries loved his song, loved the song. But meanwhile, a lot of his fans who saw him on tour here in the UK really didn't like the song as much, and it wasn't really well received, and that was because the British press had a negative impact on the song and the album, which meant it didn't do too well in the album sales charts. But what I do really appreciate, and this is quite heavily featured in this documentary, is that Robbie Williams stood by the song and the album. It was his baby, and he wasn't going to give it up because of the negative impact it was getting. He still kept looking at it in a positive way and still kept performing it on his tour shows. There is also some drug misuse as well that we do see in this documentary, which some viewers will find distressing or hard to watch. As a long-time fan of his, I found one scene in particular very, very difficult to watch, and it showed him he was very tired after doing so many shows over the course of a few weeks. He needed an energy boost, and so a doctor came in to his dressing room backstage and gave him a shot of steroids to boost his energy. And he even says in the clip that he loves drugs. We see the doctor injecting him with the steroids, and for me, it was so hard to watch that happen. I'm so glad that Robbie has now, though, managed to find himself and the man that he is today. Yes, he's still going on tours around the world. Yes, he does still do some music in some form. And I'm sure in the near future we will get more albums from this talented British artist. But it's always a joy to read his daily updates on Instagram every day that he provides. And sometimes those updates are stories about something that has happened in his life in the past. He has managed to find himself, and now he has got a wife, Ida Field, or now called Ida Field Williams, who he loves and adores so much, and she even admits in the documentary that Robbie is her soulmate. And he has kids with her as well, which he absolutely adores so much too. There are even moments throughout this 4-part documentary where we see his eldest daughter appear in the documentary. She is so sweet in this documentary, and she does ask him a few questions here and there about his career. But when he does get to the most difficult moments of his career that he doesn't want her to see until she's old enough to understand about all the stuff he's gone through, he tells her to leave the room, which she does so respectfully. I should also add that I hope someday his eldest daughter has a music contract or a record label, because towards the end of this documentary she is sat at the piano singing a song for her dad, and she does have a beautiful singing voice, and I'm sure if that's her future career, her dad will be there every step of the way and making sure she doesn't make the same mistakes as he did earlier on in his career. A great documentary which I do recommend people to watch. It does highlight mental health in a very important way, and I would happily watch this documentary again and again over on Netflix. So that is my thoughts on the Robbie Williams documentary that we've had over on Netflix. Like I say, brilliant documentary. Definitely one that I would recommend people to watch, indeed. Especially if you are into musicians and stuff, and seeing what they get up to on like tours and stuff like that. So a lot of the footage that we have seen in this documentary are scenes of bits and pieces that nobody has ever seen before. Not even Robbie Williams himself has seen some of the bits and pieces that's been filmed in the past. So there's even been bits, like I have said in my review, where he didn't even know that got filmed. So for him, it was quite surprising. He has recently done press interviews about his documentary, and he said that looking back at some of the footage was quite traumatizing to see, especially the moments when he wasn't in a really good way. He was in a really bad place, and he was dealing with it through alcoholism and drug misuse and stuff like that. So like I say, this documentary is very important because it does tackle the importance of mental health, but at the same time it does also tackle other important issues as well, like alcoholism, drug misuse and addiction, and stuff like that. So, but it also as well, not only does it kind of in a way paint Robbie Williams in this bad light, but it also shows you his road to recovery as well. So there is positivity in this that in a way kind of outweighs the negativity, when he was going through a really bad time with his mental health, struggling with fame as well, and all of that. So really important documentary. Like I say, I definitely would recommend people to go and give it a watch. Available now to watch over on Netflix. And you know what, to be honest with you, I'm going to admit, Robbie Williams, I'm going to say, is my all-time favourite music artist. Somebody that I've grown up listening to, and someone that I still listen to this day. And I think it's also great that, to start off this TV wrap-up series, I've spoken about one of my favourite music idols, you know, that I have so much love and respect for, especially now. And honestly, I'm so glad that he is still here today, because honestly, I think had I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, had found out that he had died from drug misuse or something like that, I honestly would have been very devastated, I think. I think I would be devastated. I mean, I have said it before, and I am going to say it again, but there are celebrity deaths out there where I've struggled to process that they've died. You know, and some of them have hit me worse than others, you know, because even though you've never met them before, but they've still been somewhat of a part of your life, whether it's through music, TV shows, movies, etc. And I feel like the day that Robbie Williams is no longer on this planet, walking the earth, I do feel like that's probably going to be the day that I'm going to be really, really devastated to know that he's no longer breathing the same air as me, and stuff like that. So, but anyway, either way though, I'm very glad that he is still with us today. He is thriving on life. He is out there doing tours and stuff like that. He is posting updates about his life and other stories and stuff. And I've got so much love and respect for that amazing artist. So there we go. That is my thoughts on the Robbie Williams documentary over on Netflix. Just before I wrap up this video, I do want to say there are some other bits and pieces coming up for you, okay? So I'm going to start with Friday this week. So Friday the 17th of November. That is when my next TV wrap-up video is going to be coming out for you. That's going to be me talking about Series 2 of Loki. Now, obviously, this the series finale of Loki aired last week on Disney+. Similar to the Robbie Williams documentary, that aired a week ago by the time this video goes out. So, I'm going to talk about Loki series as a whole on Friday the 17th of November at 4 PM UK time, and give you guys my thoughts on that. And I will be diving into spoilers for that as well. And then next week, I'm going to do another 2 videos as well, in terms of TV wrap-ups. So the first one is going to be on Wednesday the 22nd of November. I'm going to be talking about, excuse me, I'm going to be talking about Gen V, because Gen V has been on Amazon Prime now for the last couple of weeks, as in the whole series, and I haven't yet had the chance to watch it. I have seen The Boys. I am going to be doing a rewatch of The Boys very soon, now that the actors' strike is over, and now they can focus on getting Series 4 of The Boys ready. I am going to rewatch The Boys. I am going to talk about The Boys in a future TV wrap-up video, and give you my thoughts on it. But I'm going to watch Gen V. So the whole Series 1 is available now on Amazon Prime. So I'm going to watch that in the next couple of weeks. And then obviously I'm going to review that on Wednesday next week, which will be the 22nd of November. And then on the 24th of November, which is Friday the 24th, I'm then going to be talking about another series which is over on Disney Plus, titled Goosebumps. So I'm going to talk about that as well at 4 PM UK time right here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial, okay? I will update you with some more TV shows as well that I've got lined up in the future. I am going to be talking about the TV show Sex Education. I'm going to be talking about White Lotus, Gangs of London, and probably Echo in the future as well, which is the Marvel Studios series. What If Series 2 is coming soon, so I'll talk about that as well. I'll probably talk about some other Netflix original shows, maybe Big Mouth and Sex Education and there'll be other bits and pieces that I will talk about, okay? Probably even the fall of the House of the Usher as well, because I've not yet seen that series in its entirety, and I would like to. So there is a lot of mixture TV shows being lined up that I'm going to be talking about in the near future on Steve's TV wrap-up here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. But for now, though, if you haven't yet seen Robbie Williams' documentary, please feel free to go and give it a watch. I am going to be giving some other music artists' documentaries a watch in the near future as part of my TV wrap-ups as well, and that includes Ed Sheeran, Lewis Capaldi, and the Beatles as well. So I'll talk about those music artists in the near future as well for you guys. But if you have enjoyed this video though, please give this video a thumbs up. If you've already seen the documentary, then feel free to let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are on this original documentary made by Robbie Williams. And if you are new around here and you've enjoyed what you've seen today, then feel free to hit that subscribe button to become a Stevo. As mentioned, your next YouTube video is coming up for you on Friday the 17th of November 2023, which will be my chat about Loki Series 2 on Disney+. But until then though, it's goodbye, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again in my next YouTube video.